Home is Not a Place, It's a Feeling by Cecilia Ahern. If you're wrestling with this decision right now, here's some homework for you. Start with a list of what you love about your current home and make a list of what no longer fits. And then do a little bit of dreaming. What would your ideal next chapter look like? What would your next ideal dream home look like? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Empty Nest Full Pockets podcast. This is the show that helps you turn the page, not just emotionally, but financially too, as you step into the empty nest chapter of life. I'm Matt Meline. I'm a financial advisor and a fellow empty nester, and firmly believe that this stage of life is by no means the end of the story. We think it's really a fresh start. Now that the kids are out of the house, you might be staring at a quieter home and also a whole lot of possibility. Lots of sizing gets thrown around when we talk about houses: downsizing, upsizing, right-sizing, semi-sizing. I made the last one up. So the question really is, though, should you downsize and or change your home base now that your kids have left? So whether you're sitting in a 4-bedroom house with a lonely coffee cup in the dishwasher, or if you're starting to wonder if this is the right time for us to make a move, this episode is going to be for you. Let's talk through the emotional, financial, and practical sides of making a change to our primary residence and to how that choice is going to fit with our life. So I'm planning to cover the emotional side of our homes, the financial lens of making a residence change, and then finding a good fit. We're also going to talk a little bit about timing the market or not trying to time the market, because it's very tricky. I want to start with a great quote from Maya Angelou. "The ache for home lives in all of us. The safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned." I think it's a great summary of how we feel about our homes, and it can become very emotional when we talk about our houses. First thing I want to discuss is the emotional side of our house. It's not anything that you're going to hear a real estate agent probably talk about with you up front, but it is okay to be emotional about this. I mean, your home might be where your kids took their first steps, where you hosted birthday parties, had some late night study sessions, maybe even a few teenage tantrums. Yes, they have tantrums even when they're teenagers. It holds memories, your house does. It holds meaning. And deciding to leave is not just really something that you can just throw on a spreadsheet and make happen. So if you're feeling stuck in this decision, you're not alone. I've talked to clients who were 100% ready financially to downsize, but emotionally, they needed some time. Others thought that maybe they were emotionally ready to move on, but didn't consider the full financial picture. So they had the emotional side covered, but not so much on the financial side. So I remember when we were getting ready to move, my wife and I were blending our family, and the kids were still in kind of elementary, middle school. And I explained to Anna that we were going to need to move, and she just started crying and was really upset. And she's like, "This is our home, Dad. I don't want to go." And when I explained that she would have Natalie, who is now her stepsister, as a roommate, and we'd all be living together, she stopped crying immediately and said, "Okay, that sounds all right." So what I learned from all that is that all of us as a family, attach a lot of emotion to our home. So I think the key takeaway from that then is just to start by acknowledging that emotional weight. But I mean, don't let it be the only weight in the decision. Picture how you're going to feel when you're packing up and moving. Does that feel like maybe it's going to be too much, or can you envision a future with more freedom, more flexibility? And after you've got past the angst of this big change, is it going to be okay? All right, so now we need to take a little bit of a bite of the big elephant here, and that's kind of the financial lens of this whole decision. So before we break this down, we need to confront a current reality here in 2025, which is when we're recording this. Interest rates are higher on mortgages than they've been in the past. You may be paying on a 2 to 3% mortgage right now, which is like free money, pretty much. Current rates, as I'm recording this, are right around 6.5%, and likely to change by the time that you hear this episode. So as a result, a smaller home may not be the less expensive answer after all, because you're going to have to borrow it at this higher loan rate. So as you're breaking down the numbers, make sure that you include a total cost of the new mortgage and the home purchase, including the total of the payments and fees. So once you've figured out what your mortgage is going to be, multiply that by the number of payments that you're expecting you to make and the fees that you're going to have to pay to get into this house to figure out if financially this is really worth it. Sure, you're maybe getting less space, but with the higher cost of money, is it actually going to be a money-saving venture? Is it going to be something that's going to improve your financial picture rather than worsen it? It might only make sense if you're exchanging a bunch of equity for a low balance short-term mortgage. So let's zoom out real quick and take a look at the numbers. So if you're staying in your current home, it might mean this: some higher maintenance costs, higher utility bills, possibly a mortgage that no longer really aligns with your retirement goals. Perhaps it's going to last too long, for instance. Maybe it's a home layout that may not serve you long-term, lots of steps, things like that. On the flip side, downsizing could free up some cash. Let's say you sell your $600,000 house and buy something for $400,000. So That $200,000 before costs and taxes could go towards your retirement savings. It could help you make that empty nest travel dream come true. Maybe you can help your own kids with their housing, or maybe you just want to beef up your emergency fund. But the point is, you've got some liquidity coming in. There are also some hidden costs, though, when it comes to downsizing. You've got your realtor fees, you've got moving expenses. You may have renovation that you need to do on the new place. Perhaps the new place has some homeowners dues or unexpected surprises if it's a condo or a townhouse. So it's not just about smaller being cheaper. It's about value, financial value and lifestyle value, all things that you need to think about before you make this big decision. Hey everybody, I want to let you know about our empty nest success checklist that we put together. This is 9 pages chock full of resources just for the empty nester, with podcasts, articles, all kinds of links for tools and apps that you can use as you go on your empty nest journey. So if you'd like a free copy of the empty nest success checklist, please look in the show notes and or visit our website for your free copy today. Thanks. The next part I want to talk about is lifestyle fit. So what do you actually want? And so here's a question that I ask my clients all the time. How do you want to live over the next 10 to 20 years? Not just where, but how. When you retire, what are you retiring to? When you're empty nesting, what are you empty nesting to? So do you want to travel more and not worry about lawn care? Do you want to be closer to your grandkids or perhaps your aging parents? Do you want to have a main floor bedroom that you can kind of age in place in this spot? Do you want to live in a walkable neighborhood with coffee shops and bookstores right around the corner so you can get to where you want to go without having to hop in the car? What types of neighbors are you leaving behind, and what kind of neighbors are you going to be acquiring? That's tough to know because until you get in to see them and get to know them, you don't really know who you're getting. But spending some time in the neighborhood, driving around, checking out some of those walkability areas, spending time in the local businesses might help you understand what kind of neighbors you're going to be picking up in this new place. We all have heard horror stories about this crazy neighbor that we didn't expect, and it's just been a horrible situation. But in many cases, you can get a good vibe for the neighborhood, hanging out at the local coffee shops, asking the realtor kind of what the neighborhood's makeup is, where the schools are, where everybody likes to hang out, those kind of things. So sometimes when we're downsizing, it's not just about the square footage. It's about getting the right size for your life. One couple that I worked with, they actually upsized their kitchen in a smaller home because their dream was to host Sunday family dinners after all their kids had left. So they didn't shrink their life necessarily. They just reshaped it. So they were able to stay in their home and make that home work for this new stage of life. Another family that I work with, they took the equity they built and used it to purchase a lake home, which had been a lifelong dream. So their primary residence remained a little bit imperfect. Maybe it wasn't great for all the things they wanted to do, but it was great for hosting their kids, their grandkids, and then having all those kids over at the lake and their grandchildren at the lake more than made up for it for them. So if that's a life dream, consider those possibilities as well. Make the real estate decision your plan, not the plan of others. Next thing I want to discuss is timing the market, and I'll just put a spoiler in here. It's tricky. I put that in quotations here, but what I mean is that real estate market timing can be just very, very challenging. It can be tempting to wait for the perfect time, and then 20 years later, the home of your dreams is long gone. So absolutely, the market does matter. With interest rates being higher than what we're used to right now, perhaps the temptation is I'm going to wait until rates get back to 2. As a financial advisor, I would advise you against that because I don't see rates returning to those levels for a very long time, barring something cataclysmic in the economy that requires those rates to come down. But we've kind of gotten to a new normal here of these a little bit higher rates than what we're used to. So trying to time that perfectly is like trying to pick the fastest line at the grocery store. If you ever see me in the grocery store, do not follow me to the next line that I'm going to, because I guarantee you it will not work out as we all planned. I will be waiting longer. It always happens that way. I don't know why I'll never learn that lesson. Anyway, so what matters more than the timing the market is your personal timeline. Financially, are you ready? Is the market favorable enough that you can make a move without any regrets? Are you emotionally in a space to handle this transition? So don't get paralyzed waiting for the perfect time. Aim for a good time that aligns with your life's goals. We're always trying to caution our clients about successfully trying to time the stock market. It's also tricky, also impossible in my opinion. So same thing with this. Trust the life decision-making skills that you've acquired to this point and make the leap when you're ready. And then once you've made it, no looking back. Embrace what you've done, make the most of it, and move on to what could be a great new stage of life, having a residence that really fits your life right now. There's a few questions that I'd like you to ask before you either list your house or you decide to stay. And so here are just a few things that you should ask yourself, or better yet, go through with the financial planner. 1, can I afford to stay here if something happens to my spouse or my income? 2, am I paying for space that I don't use anymore? Number 3, is this home set up to support me as I age? Number 4, if I sold tomorrow, where would I go? And would I like living there? Number 5, what would I do with the equity if I did sell? Number 6, what does the total cost picture look like if I was to make this change? And number 7, what kind of growth can I expect in my existing home value without a lot of improvements versus buying something that's new and upgraded? Okay, so next steps. This quote I really like, which is "Home is not a place, it's a feeling" by Cecilia Ahern. If you're wrestling with this decision right now, here's some homework for you. Start with a list of what you love about your current home and make a list of what no longer fits. And then do a little bit of dreaming. What would your ideal next chapter look like? What would your next ideal dream home look like? If you want some help running the numbers or just need someone to talk it through, I would love to connect with you. So this is what we do. We help empty nesters align their financial plans with their real life dreams. So we're always here to help if you need a second opinion. I want to thank you today for tuning in to the Empty Nest Full Pockets podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button and share it maybe with a friend who's facing a similar decision, like what to do with their home, empty nesting, all that fun stuff. And if you're so inclined, please leave us a quick review. This can really help more than you know. At our website, which I've listed here on this screen, we have a free copy of my book, Empty Nest Full Pockets, for anybody who's listening. So all you need to do is head to our website, go under the book tab, and you'll find that we can send you a free PDF copy or a paper copy if you'd like. Thanks so much for being here today. We appreciate it.